episode of the Hot Pink Podcast. Today we're going to talk about dating. Ooh. And dating from the perspective of after being divorced and from a Christian perspective because we are divorced. And we are Christians. Jesus. Yeah. So, let's get into it. Dating after divorce was very interesting. Because being married for 12 years, so being married all of my adulthood.
Right. Yeah.
It was very interesting. Yeah. I didn't know the ropes, like, what to expect. And so I went on a lot of dates last year.
Good for you.
I did.
Good for you.
Because I've been divorced a little over a year now. And I didn't really say no to too many guys, because I think that part of knowing the ropes was having experiences to know, what am I even looking for?
Right.
To be with one person for so long, it was hard to know like what to expect, what to look for. And so what I found is that I was easily impressed at first. I was very easily impressed at first because my marriage was rough, and because of that, there were good moments here and there, but because of like the friction, any small act of kindness.
Talk about
and so small acts of kindness were like big for me.
Right.
And then I had to realize, like, okay, AJ, there are decent people. There are decent people.
Wow.
There are decent people in the world. So that was one of my major takeaways was having to, adjust my crown and remember who I am, or know what I desire.
Yeah.
And to expect certain things, not to be easily impressed, but to expect certain things.
Yeah.
And so I know you haven't dated as much.
Not as long. I've only been SREE for about 2 months now. So I don't have as much experience, but I definitely can relate to like being easily impressed, because like you said, when you've spent so much time being treated a certain way and thinking that this is how a relationship is supposed to be, society tells you that couples are supposed to fight.
I just saw a post that said, if you haven't contemplated divorce yet, you're not married.
Like, that is so unhealthy and toxic. Like, that is such a lie. Like, that's such crazy.
It's crazy.
It's really crazy, but that is how society wants to portray relationships. Like,
struggle love.
Right, struggle love.
I don't want to struggle love.
I don't. Because is love a struggle?
It should be.
There are challenges within yourself, right? Being selfless in love.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to be drugged through the mud for somebody's love. Like, that's insane.
That's insane.
So, like, being easily impressed when in reality, it's really us experiencing kindness, like you said, in a very genuine way, maybe even for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, just like I got married in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So I spent my 20s being a wife, being mom, stay-at-home mom for most of those years. And now that I have the freedom to interact with other men, it's like, wow, I get to learn what I like. Like, what do I like?
Yeah.
Do I like flowers?
Right.
Do I like candlelight dinners? Do I like for you to text me every day?
Yeah.
Do I like for you to call me? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
What do I like? Do I want to see you every day?
Right. Yeah.
Do I need space?
Yeah. It's the whole process for sure.
Right.
So godly dating.
Can we just acknowledge that it's okay? At least I believe it's okay.
What?
Right? Because back in the day, like growing up, I was taught that dating wasn't godly.
Okay.
That might be a different for you. So for me, I was taught that dating wasn't godly. Either you're courting or you're not.
Yeah.
Either you're courting to get married or there's nothing should be happening.
Well, courting, isn't that just another word for dating?
No. Courting is
exclusively?
It's exclusive because I'm going to marry you.
Okay.
Courting means I've already made the decision to marry you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before courtship, so then you need to be friends or something first, because
I mean, you got to be...
You got to be something before you...
Right?
Before you decide you want to marry somebody.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm
crazy.
like, dating is okay. It is okay.
No, it definitely is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because how else, do you know if you connect with someone and
Yeah.
you want to take things further?
So I end up divorced.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So godly dating was difficult at first.
Oh, that godly dating. Gotcha.
Yeah, keeping
Yeah.
the cookie in the cookie jar.
Ooh.
And I know this conversation is, it's so taboo in church. So to, be formally married to a pastor.
Right.
And to,
Right.
be transparent enough to say that keeping the cookie and the jar was hard at first.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's like having the freedom.
I was just thinking that.
I'm free now. I was free to do, and I thank God for keeping me during those times.
Yeah.
What I had to learn was to be smart and not strong.
Oh.
And I had to learn,
Who's smart and not strong.
yeah, so be smart. Do not invite him over
Right.
because now you have to be strong. Be smart. Go out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in those situations.
Don't put yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
Because I had heard about Netflix and chill, but I was, an old maid with Netflix and chill.
Right.
When the thought came out,
yeah, that didn't apply.
I was Netflix and chilling.
Right.
With my husband.
Already.
Already.
Right.
So to invite guys over and think, be like, we can just watch a movie.
Yeah. It's no biggie.
It's no biggie.
Yes. It's a biggie.
It's a biggie. It's a biggie. I can tell you that if you invite a guy over and he's bringing a pizza and you're watching a movie, that more than likely he's going to expect something else. Because why did you invite me over here? So, but glory to God in the highest.
All right.
Amen. That
He's a keeper.
He is a keeper that came out without a scratch. You feel me? Amen. he picking up what I'm putting down. No, seriously, it's just a reminder of his grace to because when it was time for that season to be up, I felt him
Yeah.
pull me out of it.
Yeah.
The conviction was strong.
Right.
And it could be that maybe I wasn't checking for the conviction.
Right.
That could be it, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like when I felt it strongly, I don't feel like I was checking for it then. It's like he left the 99 for the one. It was like, girl, get
Right.
over here.
Like he's like calling.
Cuckoo.
And you're like, and you're like, hold up, y'all, because she is not hearing me. And thank God, right?
Thank
for
God.
a God who will leave the 99 for a shepherd that will come
Yeah.
and grab us,
Yeah.
the one that's lost.
Yeah. Before it gets out of hand.
Right.
So, I mean, if you can relate to that, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's
Yeah.
just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
can we just
can we be real?
Can we just be real? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Because especially, again, being married young and, well, all your other friends, I don't know about you, but I was the only friend that was married. You know, all my friends
Absolutely.
were out
My
kicking
age,
it.
at least, yeah.
My age, yeah.
Yeah.
Kicking it in their 20s.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did all the things.
they already did the things.
Yeah.
Now I'm like in my 30s and I'm like, what's the thing? Like, what are the things?
Hot girl summer activated.
You know, I mean, that's a real thing, you know? And so having friends who you can be honest with, I think that has really been a benefit for me too.
Yeah.
Having friends that you can be honest with, be like, hey, girl, listen, this is what it is. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I've been with the shenanigans. I've had friends call me and I'm like, girl, go get it. Right? It's not bad. But it's it's true though, you know?
Yeah.
And then there are other times where I'm like, you know what? You know, maybe not tonight. Like, you know, let's reel it in a little bit. And then having friends to do the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been in the dating world as long as you, but stepdaddy applications.
So they rolling it.
The door was open, okay?
The door.
When the judge said it is done. All right?
Amen.
I was out here. But even that though, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Right? Dating with children after divorce.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I mean, that's that right there. That is what keeps me on a certain straight and narrow.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not willing to compromise my children's peace
Yeah.
for, you know, my pleasure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can't no Jim or Bob just meet the kids. And, yeah. So no one has met the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it would have to be very serious for that to happen. And my little one, she is a firecracker. Like, she just be all in my mix. Like, to remember to, well, to delete pictures, not like those pictures. Like, you know, not crazy pictures. Kind of keep us. Anyway,
Well, I'm gonna make that clear on behalf of my sis. Okay, she's not talking about the pictures that y'all talking about. All right, we're not talking about any explicit.
just a screenshot of homeboy to show my friends. Like, you know, this is the flavor of the week.
Yeah. So that we can nickname him.
Dress socks or
Not dress socks. Texting you right now, girl. What dress socks want?
where Columbus at?
So many nicknames. We can be so clever and creative. That's the fun part about dating.
Yes.
But anyway, back to
Yeah, no. So like, you know, who's this and who's this guy on your phone? Nobody, Jocelyn. But I can tell the difference. And I think I might have mentioned this in another episode. Like, after a year.
Yeah.
Because even in the parenting class, like when you go through divorce, there's a parenting class, and it says to wait about a year before you introduce anyone to your kids. And like literally after
My bad.
parenting class.
Huh? Wait a year?
Wait a year.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's what the class said.
Yeah.
And in my experience, I found like right after a year, she came to me and she was like, you know, I would be okay if you had a boyfriend. After she drilled me about whether or not I had one, she's like, you know, you got a boyfriend? I'm like, no. And she's like, So she was like alluding to like finding that hard to believe. I can't remember what word she used. And she was like, maybe she said, I don't think that doesn't seem true. Because, you know, black kids know better than to call anybody a liar. She know better than
lying.
Yeah, she know better than that. And I was like, well, why do you say that? Why do you think it's not true? And she's like, well, you're very pretty.
Aw.
Thanks, girl.
See? Yeah.
And I was like, well, I see what you mean.
Well, you're right.
I see your point. And it's not that, you know, men don't want to date mommy exclusively, but it's a process. And she came to the conclusion that if he was good to me and he's good to, you know, if he's good to mommy and good to them, that she would be
said all
okay.
that?
She
Wow.
did. She's so emotionally mature.
Yeah.
But she's like, I would be okay with you having a boyfriend. Whereas right after we got divorced, if she thought that there was somebody that I was talking to, because they knew it was me who made the decision.
Right.
Because I was the one that moved out.
So she was trying to find the reason why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She was trying to understand, why is this happening to me?
Right.
It must be, is it someone else? Who
Right.
is it?
Right.
She was angry. And I can't say a year later, she's,
Yeah.
we've definitely made it over the hump. So it gets better. That's what you
Yeah.
got to know about divorce with kids. It gets better because
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. It's such a blessing.
Yeah.
That was always the hardest part, but I'm apprehensive about introducing them to someone in that way.
I just don't. Some people claim that, well, I introduce people early because I want to see if they mesh with the kids, and and that's some people's reasoning. For me, I'm the parent.
That's absolutely how
I make the choice.
Yeah.
My children don't make the choice. My children don't know what's best for them.
Right.
I am the parent, right?
Yeah.
So if I believe that you are good for my children, then I introduce you to my children.
Yeah.
Not the other way. What? My children are not test dummies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that.
Right.
I have it is very, one thing I would say, my mother never had men in and out of my life. She just didn't. She dated away from me. I didn't even know that she was dating really until I was in high school. And then it was a whole shock, honestly. And I was like, oh my God, you betrayed me. How could you, but she really, I'm grateful that she did not compromise so much of our time together with someone else, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
Now, I think that I would have liked for her to have more of a balance, right? Because I do
That's a good
think
point.
that, I do wish that maybe she did date more, even if she kept it away from me, so that it wasn't such a shock to my system when I was in high school. But I'm grateful that she never made me feel like I was second to a man when I was growing up, know? And I think that it's easy to come out of a marriage or come out of a long-term relationship and cleave to someone real quick.
Right.
And make them your world. And then ultimately, then you make your kids feel second,
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
We were walking back from the store the other day, and there were some men outside, and one of the guys said something to me. Now, mind you, I'm with my kids, and let me give y'all some advice. If you see me out with my children, don't hit on me. That is not cute. That's not flattering. If you see me with my kids, keep it to yourself, okay? So anyway, this guy says something to me, calls me baby, have a great day, baby, or sweetheart, something like that. My son was like, he better watch it.
Oh.
I said,
How old is your son?
I said, what you say? At the time, he was 10. I said, what you say? He was like, you ain't his baby. I had never seen that side of my son before, ever, right? Because there was never a time where he felt like he had to maybe defend that or protect that piece of me.
Right.
But now I can tell that that's something that he's thinking about. I don't want that man talking to my mom like that,
Yeah.
And it was actually really adorable. But that just lets me know they're paying attention.
Yeah.
They are absolutely paying attention. And there's so much healing that has to take place within their own little hearts and lives.
Absolutely.
Why would I disrupt that by bringing someone? Now, I'm not saying that when they're not with me, that mommy don't have, her own little mommy fun. Okay. Because again, I want to have balance that my mom maybe didn't have,
Yeah.
But that doesn't involve or include my kids.
Right. Absolutely. That is a good point to remember, to have balance. I've definitely learned that from you, because you're a phenomenal mom.
You always make me cry when you say that.
Oh, don't cry. But you really are. You are intentional about the time that you spend with your babies. And I don't ever want to be so dead set on getting out here dating that I put them on the back burner. So I have picked that up, from you. It's a good reminder. And you're not a bad mom.
No, you're not.
If you were in a long-term relationship and you got out and let your hair down, and it's here's your friendly reminder. Just like I had my sister remind me, it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a bad mom that I'm with them, being the custodial parent. They're with me all the time.
Yep.
So to be the sergeant, to be the homework,
Yep.
the one who has to do the homework,
Right.
and enforce bedtime and do all those things, I'm ready to let my hair down.
Absolutely. Like, oh, it's time for you to go with your dad. Okay. Bye. I'll be ready in 15 minutes.
Absolutely. So yeah, I am learning to get that balance, because it's no fun being the parent who has to do the not so fun stuff.
Yeah. No, mommy needs fun too.
Yeah, mommy needs to have fun with the babies too. They need to,
Yes.
when they grow up and look back, like nobody, you don't want them thinking that, like, all mommy did was,
Make me do chores and stuff. Like,
right,
yeah.
and nothing fun. So
Yeah. No,
definitely.
yeah. So to your point, because I didn't realize you were talking about having fun with the kids. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, having fun with your kid like that. Listen, I call it family date night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I take my kids out. That sounds weird, but however you say it,
you
you know what I'm
take them
saying?
out.
Yeah, like that's what I do with my children. Like
Yeah, you have a good balance, and I've learned
that's
that
the
from you.
balance. Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe we should talk about how many times I've fallen in love, quote unquote. I mean, that probably goes back to being easily impressed, but just being open. So learning to take time to
Pace yourself.
pace yourself and to have self-love.
Self-love.
And not to even be looking for that in somebody else after going through
Yeah.
a tough relationship and for so long.
Right.
Learning to be okay with being single.
Right.
Um,
One thing that I'm appreciative of is during the year or 13 months that it took to go through the divorce process, I really was able to spend time with myself, spend time with the Lord, and begin healing, right? So I wasn't looking for, and I'm not looking for a savior,
right.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a man to fill a void or to validate my existence. I'm grateful that I took time and still taking time to, again, like you said, have that self-love so that when I am ready to commit myself to someone else, I won't be as gullible, as naive, as easily impressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't be.
Yeah. Did we cover it all? I think we covered it all. An alpha man complex. I know that before you've said that you don't need an alpha man.
I mean, by definition, an alpha man is demanding. No. Like, I think some men think that that's like everyone's throwing that around right now. Like, alpha man, I take control. No thanks. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want a man, number one, I'm just say this. If you say you're an alpha man, hit the door. If it has to come out your mouth,
That's a good point.
you know what I'm saying? I don't want a man who walks in, I'm an alpha man. No, I want a man who walks in and I say, oh my, who is that?
Right.
Your presence speaks for you.
Right.
If you have to say, I'm an alpha man, sir, sit down.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I'm not, actually. I'm not. I don't like this control. Again, it's pushing this whole narrative of being controlling and demanding, and that is not it. Being assertive, being confident, yes.
Yeah.
Being self-aware, yes. Being ambitious, yes. Those are also all the things that I am,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And a partner would acknowledge those things.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, don't come in busting the door down. Like, that's not cute. That's me. I'm just talking about my own preferences.
Yeah.
That's not cute.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be hard to know, what's the most important. Physical attractiveness, spirituality, familial, like how they are with their family,
Right.
financial security.
Right.
There's so many things to think about.
Right.
And it can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I know yet, like, what's the most important thing to me. Well, yes, I do. To love Jesus
Yes.
is the most important. To actually walk the walk and not just talk the talk. To have a man who is studying, and I mean, I don't always have all the time to study either, but to be intentional about his faith and his walk, because
Yes.
with Christ, everything else, I just feel like everything else will
Yeah.
fall
You
into
don't
place.
have to worry about it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a godly man loves his wife like Christ loved the church. To have that sacrificial love, like, that's huge if you really think about what God is asking of the husband of the man, because Christ loved the church so much that he died for the church.
Right.
So that speaks to a different level of selflessness.
Absolutely.
And with that sort of selflessness, everything else
Right.
falls into place. So
Yeah.
if I'm thinking about you and you're thinking about me, no one goes lacking.
Period. That's what I'm saying. I'm serving you. You're serving me.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's
But
beautiful.
when you have someone who takes,
Yeah.
and so you have a giver and a taker, the giver is drained and the taker is full and just wanting more.
Right.
And it's like, give me, give me, give me. It's like, I don't even have anything else
Yeah.
to give.
Right.
Because I'm not being filled up, because I'm filling, these cups, but there's my cup. Like, I can't even fill my own cup because I'm pouring myself out to other people.
Yeah.
So to have that sacrificial love, I mean, that is like, that's the number one thing.
Right.
Because I just can't think of, well, like, what could come against that, like,
Yeah.
whether infidelity and all of these other things. If you love me to the point where you're willing to sacrifice, you sacrifice the feeling of lust for me. You sacrifice all of these things
Right.
for the sake of
Right.
the betterment of our relationship.
Right. Yeah. That's true love.
Yeah.
And that's why it's rare, truthfully. I mean, that's why it's rare. We live in a society that is very selfish.
Yeah.
If you don't make me happy, then that's it. It's all
Yeah.
about me, me, me.
Yeah,
Do what
people
I
are
want.
trying to figure out what they can get.
Yeah. What can I get from you? Right. So being mature enough, being in tune with the Lord. And first of all, you have to know, the only way you know what love is if you know God's love. Because there's
Absolutely.
no greater love than God's love. God
Yeah.
is love. So if you don't know what his love looks like, everything else is just an imitation of what you think,
Right.
Again, spending this time really understanding and experiencing God's love, not just what the scriptures say, but actually feeling his love.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There have been plenty of times where I've complained to God, like, why is it that everybody else can be out here in the streets, but not me? Why can't I be out in the streets? Like, why,
Yeah.
why do I feel so convicted? Or,
Yeah.
even if I try to do something, the weight of conviction would just lay so heavily on me.
Yeah.
Why can't I just have somebody to spend time with? And God ever so gently be like, spend time with me. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do you say to that? Right?
Right.
What do you be like, no, God, I don't have time for you today. Like,
Yeah.
he just would gently remind me, like, hey, but I love you.
Right.
I'm like, my phone is so dry. Nobody calling me. But I want to talk to you.
Right.
I want intimacy with you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, God, like, I get it. You really do love me. Like, oh my gosh. Right?
Yeah.
Then you spend that time with him and you're like, oh, this is amazing. This feeling right here.
Yeah.
If I don't feel this, that right there, that's the measure. God's love is the standard.
Absolutely.
If I don't feel at peace, if I don't
Absolutely.
feel safe,
Absolutely.
if I don't feel joy, if I don't feel like I want to serve you, we're wasting our time.
Yeah.
Wasting our time.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. 100%. Yeah. So, what are some red flags?
Saying you're not female. For me, that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think having a poor relationship with their mother. I think that the impacts of having an unhealthy relationship with mom is long lasting, can be, because not to put anybody into a box, not to say that, hopefully through prayer and Jesus, we all heal from our childhood traumas, but unhealed
Yeah.
mommy trauma, I'll say
course.
that, unhealed mommy trauma,
Right.
because you look at how a man treats his mother,
Yeah.
and it says a lot
That's true.
about how he'll.
That is true. That is true. Another red flag is, I'm about to use this word demanding again, but like demanding your time, demanding that you're texting back or calling back, or, not being understanding or unwavering in their own plans and stuff. Like if you
I've
can't,
had that.
if you can't go with the flow, or you know what I'm saying, like
It's selfish.
it's selfish.
Yeah.
Cause I don't owe you anything.
Nothing. Especially if we're just dating, casually dating. Just
And I don't
getting to
even
know-
say, so do you say dating? Like if you like go out with somebody, are you dating them?
No.
Yeah. Cause like I've had this conversation too. Like there's a hangout period. Like we're just hanging out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're buds.
We're
What's up,
buds.
What's up, bro?
I love saying bud. Hey bud.
Me too.
I love it. Right? We're just hanging out, right? Dating means our lives are actually intertwined. That's me. That's how I, right?
And so when you say dating, you mean exclusively.
Right.
Okay.
Dating means we're exclusive.
Okay.
If we're hanging out, we're not exclusive.
Okay. Okay.
And we're hanging out.
Yeah.
If we're dating, it's me.
So
and
is
you.
that like boyfriend, girlfriend?
Dating is like right before
Oh, okay.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
Like exclusively dating. Just
Right.
just each other, but not boyfriend, girlfriend yet.
Right.
I read a book about being single by Antoine Steele. I think it's Single to Single. Look it up. But yeah, I think that's exactly how he was. He made sure to define the stages, and it's important to do that with
Yeah.
the person that you're speaking to. Just don't leave it to
Yeah. Right.
assumption. Don't leave, we shouldn't be assuming where we are. We should be having
Too old for that.
too old for that. Communication about this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with putting your expectations out.
Yeah.
Telling a man,
Right.
because hopefully he would be man enough to either say he can or cannot.
Right. And then you
Reach
can
these
decide then.
expectations.
Mhm.
Yeah. Decide what's most important or what's not important, but it is important to define those. Because, I have been hanging out with guys, and they find out that I'm hanging out with other guys, and they're like, I don't want to hang out with you if you're hanging out with him. And they're like, well, I guess we ain't hanging out no more, because
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
But it's that demanding. It's like,
Yeah.
that's a big red flag, because how else are you going to try to throw your weight around
Right.
in the future to try to like put your foot down?
Yeah.
Like, no.
No.
There's
I forgot who said it. Somebody was on the Breakfast Club. I think it was Jill Scott. She said, if you can't, wait, what'd she say? If you can tell me what to do.
tell me what to do. If you can tell me what to do.
Yeah, she said, if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do.
Right.
But if you can tell me what to do,
Yeah.
you can tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
That's a green flag. That's a balance for me, right?
Yeah.
Because it sounds really contradictory, actually, what I'm saying.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's important for, like, men want certain things for women that they're not even prepared for. So I feel like that's what she was saying. Like, if you're big dog,
Right.
if you're settled, you got a 401k, a savings account, you're working on your credit, like, your car is not in your mother's name. No shade, but, we're too old.
Too old.
Too old. So if you could tell me what to do, if you got your ducks in a row, you've
Right.
dotted your I's and you crossed your T's. Then
Right. Because if you're saying, I acknowledge the fact that you're hanging out with other people, but I want you to know I want to be exclusive with you. Like if you approach it like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's way different than, oh, you can't hang out with a,
Right.
the approach is totally different, you know?
Yeah.
So it's how you communicate. That's another thing. How do you communicate?
Yeah.
Are you trying to manipulate the situation so that I spend time with you, or are you trying to manipulate me, or, you know, or are you just being kind and nice and letting things happen? Like, you know,
or seeing a prize and going after it.
Or seeing a prize and going after it. Yeah. All those things.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of hanging out or dating, whatever you want to say, is like we get to figure that out, like what we want. Yeah. We don't have to be anything for anyone right now. That's where I am.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be anything for anyone.
Yeah.
I am being me for myself. I am being mommy for my children.
Absolutely.
And whomever is meant will come.
Yeah.
Whoever is not will leave. And that's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
What's going to stick is going to stick.
What's meant to be will be.
Yep.
Well, that is it for, it was a good talk on dating.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Comments. Leave a comment. Tell us how you like the episode. Tag a friend. And until next time.
My regular, I'm talking